Hi, Luann. I wanted to show you what Jason and I have been working on in class. And so basically what this is, it's just a regular piece of like cardboard that I cut out. This is going to represent one measure, and then the numbers represent each beat in the measure. So in this case, we have 4 beats in a measure. And so in addition to that, what I've done is I've made some colorful different kinds of rhythm, and I'll show you each one of these individually. So for example, the colors don't really matter. It's just, I think colors are fun. But this is a quarter note, and so what I've done is I've made the quarter note fit in between this space right here. And so what this shows is that the quarter note takes up the entire first beat. And so then I can show you also, as I add more, you can see now the second quarter note takes up the second beat, the third quarter note takes up the third beat, and I had a fourth one around here somewhere, but I can't find it right now. So just use your imagination that there's a fourth beat right there. And so then when I clap and count this, I would count it like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Of course, if there was a quarter note there too. Or in other words, I could do this too: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now the reason why I'm adding the ands in there is because that helps you to know exactly how long does that beat last. And that also is going to help us when we get to these guys, the eighth notes. And so now I can put these in there too. So I'm going to take away this, and I can put the eighth notes on beat 2, and I can put the eighth notes on beat 4. And so now when I count, it's going to sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And so the 2 and, since there's 2 sounds on beat 2, have to be 2 separate sounds. And same thing on beat 4. There's 2 separate sounds. So once again, it's going to sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we've got some other kinds of rhythms. I'm just going to put these up there. They're pretty basic rhythms, but just to kind of help illustrate the point a little bit more, I also have a half note, and you can see the half note takes up two quarter notes. Or, if we want to get really fancy, the half note takes up 4 eighth notes, or 2 eighth notes and a quarter note. And so I like this visual because then my students can see, like, oh, that's how all of these rhythms sort of relate to one another. Now if I put the half note on the board, you can see this takes up 2 complete beats. And so, for example, if I were to put a rhythm up there that looks like this, I would count it this way: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So notice when I did the half note, I kind of slid my hand. That kind of simulates the bowing motion when I use my right arm: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so on and so forth. And I also have a whole note. And a whole note, as you can see, that's equal to 4 beats. And so since it's only one note, it would have a long sound: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so on and so forth. So those are kind of some of the things that we're working on in class with Jason. Specifically, though, I wanted to show you that dotted quarter note rhythm. And I think this is where the power of this visual makes a lot of sense. So here is the dotted quarter note. Now I want to show you that in relation to the half note and then also the quarter note. So if I put the quarter note up here, you can see that the dotted quarter note, green, sticks into beat 2, but only halfway in. So I say that dotted quarter note rhythms are worth 1.5 beats. And so you can kind of see that again here. When I put the quarter note on it, it only takes up one of those beats, and then there's that half left over. Or another way to think about it too is that a half note, if I was going to put that back here, now we can see that there is still an half of the beat left. And so that's where we get the single eighth note left over. And so when I put that on there, now we have the dotted quarter note, 1.5 beats, the eighth note, which is just worth half. If we add 1.5 plus a half, we get a full 2. This is the rhythm that I'm working on with Jason specifically. So let me just fill in the rest of the beats. So we have another quarter note and another quarter note right there. Here's what this rhythm is going to sound like. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'm also going to show you by pointing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if I slow it down, I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and sorry, it got blurry there for just a second. And so that's how I teach my students to count in class. We always count with the ands in between. Again, that lets us know exactly how long each of those notes is going to last. So I hope that's helpful. If you want, I'm happy to make you a version of this for at-home practice. I did make one for Nisa, so she has one at our home. But if you wanted to have one a set for yourself, I'm happy to make one for you. And that's it. If you have any more questions, just let me know. I'm happy to help. All right? Talk to you soon.